What's happening? Yeah, just make a video. I usually do them after practice and when I'm driving home, but it's like when I'm driving, I'm just starting to drive, get in my car too. It's like those videos are only a minute long. I can't really get too much out there, and I mean I do like it because it's fresh in my mind, but I'm all hot and sweaty, so I'd rather get home and shower and stuff like that. Like kind of take it all in, like what just happened. So, which I think that's a big part of, you know, learning new skills and things like that is being able to digest them, like be shown new information, be able to comprehend new information, and be able to digest it and make that a part of who you are, and your skill set. So, um, yeah, it's coming along. Today we did single leg variations. Kiesa ended up teaching the class, and Tom let him teach the class. The Wednesday's wrestling, and John's out of town, so in Singapore. So Kiesa taught it. He seemed like pretty enthusiastic about it, and he taught it. It was a good class, like single leg variations, how to like pendulum the leg. You're always keeping your head planted right on their pec, what have you. And, ideally when you run the pipe, you want their leg trapped up nice and tight in between yours. You got good posture, you got a nice pull, and you're going to take that step back and you're going to take a bow, you're going to dump them. And from what I've been taught and what I understand, and the step is pretty big. It's the same like step in basketball, like when you really step back, like and you pivot, but you're still on this foot. So how well can you just be swing your body from point A to point B while like staying pivoted? It's a nice pivot foot, and I'm nice and long, so I can build a decent amount of momentum even in just one step. And so you say you don't get it, so you try to run the pipe, you don't get it. You're gonna pendulum the leg to the outside, and you're gonna basically hand it off like the same motion that an arm drag is. The same motion that these drags are, because it's the leg. An arm drag or a leg drag is a single leg, or whatever you want to call it. Like it's a pull. And this is where I think levels start to get in the grips and like little intricacies of it, but you know it's in between your legs. Boom, you shoot, you get the single. You're digging for it. You get in there, and you got good posture, and you're gonna take that step. It doesn't work. You pendulum outside, and as you do, you're just gonna literally run parallel right past these people, and like boom, you pendulum it to the outside, and you literally start running this way. Careful not to like step into your opponent, which is like, okay, from what I understand about wrestling, you're basically running over your opponent. You're basically like running through your opponent. And like, yeah, you want to be chest to chest, hip to hip, like you want to be lower, and you want to be able to manipulate your opponent and throw them every which way. From what like my understanding of it is, you always want to have your center, you know, and like I'm putting a big emphasis on wrestling because one, it's grappling. Jiu-jitsu is grappling, but so is wrestling, and it's all and one is standing for the most part until you pin and like you're to the ground, like and then the other one's like you know pretty much on the ground, like majority of the moves. So um you know and each one blending into each other, like I'm fighting off this single leg, or like I think I was fighting for a single leg, and my buddy Adam like literally just jumped underneath to my leg, was able to use his leverage, use leverage from just going to my leg. And keep in mind, I'm going for a single leg. So he got underneath, boom, from what I can remember, and he went for my leg, which inevitably took me down. Whether or not you're gonna get points from that, he immediately switched to a heel hook and got me. Like I wasn't going anywhere. And the transition was just like so beautiful, so effortless. Like Adam is one of the guys who's been there since day one, since I even started going there. And he's from Vegas, and you know he's definitely focused, and he just won a fight recently, and he's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a monster. Like, and he fights in a smaller weight class than I do. You know, probably a few weight classes below me, and he's still able to whoop that ass. It's like, so is it weight? Is it height? Is it reach? Is it length? Is it speed? Is it strength? Like, is it power? Like, no. Like, all of those things make up who you are, and everybody's going to have certain elements. Like, in video games, it's like, oh, if you're a warrior, you got all of the strength and all the stamina, and like, you don't really have too much like intellect. You don't really have too much like, and then if you're a mage, you got a bunch of intellect, and you don't really have a lot of strength. You're not using strength. You're just casting spells, and so to each his own. And anybody can get whooped on any given day, like with anything. That's what makes it so awesome. Is like, this is the life. It's like, I want to be the greatest fighter. I want to be a champion. I'm working towards that. On every level, mind, body, soul. Like, I'm working towards that. And it's coming. It's developing. Like Muhammad Ali, my train is running right on schedule. I'm up to date on all my predictions. And I fulfilled all my prophecies or something like that. And but it's just like, this is the life. Like, I'm learning. I'm being challenged. I'm immersed. It's just, you can't ask for anything. You can't ask for anything more. Like, your coaches want you to show up every day. They want you to show up every day so you can get better. They want you to show up every day so you can get better, and everybody else can get better because you were there getting better, And it's like, you feed off of each other, and that's the culture that's built. And I was saying this the other day, all these businesses and all these places, like they have their mission statement or what have you. Every gym is gonna have their like slogan or whatnot, But at the end of the day, it's the people who make that a reality. You know what I mean? Like, there would be no hot, spicy food, Indian food for me to eat if there wasn't that culture. There would be no like, bomb Vietnamese pho noodles with the soup, like, if there wasn't that culture and those people who did it that way. So what you want to do is like, you don't want to just see moves for what they are. You want to see moves for how people are trying to use them and take advantage of them. You want to have like more insight into what's going on. And sometimes, like, when you get this insight, you're going to see things, you're going to see elements of people that are just not, so righteous. They're not so light. They're not so, like, they're not so good natured, when you start to develop this insight, But you can't ignore that. You can't ignore if somebody has malicious intent, you don't want to be ignorant of that. Of certain things, and but giving you the clarity to also know that, even if people are acting a certain way around me, you know, towards other people or even towards me, like it's really how I react that's gonna define, who I am. Everybody can show up and fight their best, and some people will win and some people will lose, but you know, some people will come back and some people won't. Okay. Some people will pack it in and head home, and and it'll be like something like a memory, it'll be like something like a memory, and maybe they'll really pack it in, and they won't, they're trying to not think about it. They'll drown themselves out with TV and alcohol and anything else because they didn't really go for what they really wanted to. Like everybody wants to be a champion, and everybody wants to have money and be well off and be successful and to be appreciated for what they do, and everybody wants that. But who is willing to just come back day after day? Like even when you're tired and you're banged up, like when you can't catch your breath, you feel like your heart's about to jump out of your chest, you know, and the round's about to start, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because the round's gonna start, that's how I'm looking at it. It's like, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. So don't try to avoid your greatness because you don't want to be uncomfortable. Try to make your culture and okay, which is your practices, your training, your craft, you know, like your practice, your training, your craft, okay? Which make up your culture. Try to make that about always pushing yourself to what seems to be your limits because you're going to grow. And if you make that the culture, which is like the traditional set of practices and things like that, like then life is gonna be much better for you. Life is gonna be much better for you. So I think everybody knows in the back of their mind, it's like don't look for the comfortable shit. It's like, damn, I said I was gonna work out 5 times this week, and I've only worked out 3, and it's day 4, and I'm real tired, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, because I go through this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, uh, I'm not invincible or anything like that. But what's on the inside, what's really at the very core of who I am is, you know. So, like, how do I have my body and my mind, my mental state catch up to that, like. And it's just by committing to it. It's just like, here we go. We're going. Like we're going, okay? We're going, and I got my knee pads, and I got my cup on, I'm getting dressed, I'm putting okay, I got my mouthpiece, okay, it was my water, made a little pre-workout, ready to get ready to go. Got eat a banana or something, and hop in the car. Now we're driving, and we're on our way. We're on our way. And if you can, the more that you can just relax into these situations, then the better off you're gonna be. Like, oh man, I need to get a job. I don't want to feel like applying. Like I was just like it's just like and but you do, and because you have to. You definitely will when you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely will. Chances are you'll get it done when you have to, believe me. So fighting is just an extreme uh, parallel for that. It's like, oh, he took you down, and he's punishing you. Well, you have to get up. If you don't, you're gonna get punished, and that's gonna be it. The ref's gonna hopefully save you, and then that's gonna be it. So in that moment, there's one choice. It's either to get up, like, or not. So, and that seems always to be the choice throughout life. So it's just like make that a part of who you are. Is like, instead of just shelling away and making excuses and just being like, tomorrow, being like, yeah, we're gonna do that right now, even though I don't fucking feel like it at all. We're gonna do it right now, even though I just don't even feel like it at all. And 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 just give yourself to it. You know what I mean? Like, let go of like trying to control what's really supposed to take place. Like, you might think you're supposed to get this much better, and if you really give yourself to it and just let go to what it is, and really just give yourself to it, like, give all your attention to it, you know so set up your life around your goals to where they're more easily achievable. You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to be a marathon runner, you wouldn't stay up drinking alcohol every night, because that's not conducive to marathon running. So you have to, well, but definitely, getting carrot juice and beet juice, and eating very, very healthy, and getting plenty of rest and stretching and massaging, like, all these things are gonna be help you become a marathon runner. So it's just like, everybody knows. Everybody knows. There's the people that make excuses and shell away, and that's it. It's like, well, those are the people that are talking about the people who are doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to think about yourself, like, am I just a person who just talks about other people and what they do? Or am I a person who is just getting shit done to the point where I don't really even have much time to talk? You know what I mean? Like, I have to, very rarely do I find 17 minutes to sit down and, like, get this out, but I do think it's helpful. So, yeah, it's like, make your own culture. Make your own culture. The people around you don't really act right. They don't really seem inspiring. Get some new people. If the food you're eating is not really making you feel good, eat some new food. If the places you're going and things you're doing just don't feel right, do something else. Even if it's completely different than what you've ever done your whole life. And you'll be all right. You'll be all right. There's greater forces at work here that, will make sure that you're all right. That you don't eat shit every time that you take a risk. You're gonna eat shit, but it's not gonna be every single time. So, love you guys. You know how we do.